Yeah, back at it, day 4. It's already in the afternoon because we were at Porsche Nederland in Leusden at the headquarters of Porsche in the Netherlands, checking out a very beautiful GT4S. So let's check out what they did in the day here. As you can see, a lot of spare parts have already gone. Exhaust is still here, drive shaft is still here. But guys, we have the differential is back. Hello, hello, with a new heat shield. And there looks also very fresh. Let's turn it. Oh, it's so tough to turn. So much better. Yeah, and smooth, smooth, nice. New bearing. And that one, the most important stuff, the manual transmission is also back in place. As it seems with the original transmission mounts, I also thought these were still good to go. Back in, back mounted. Wow, Nick did so much work today. Yeah, catalytic converters still have to go back in. A little bit of scaffolding on the bottom. And also here, new heat shields, because these are rusted away completely. Also new screws. That must have been a lot of work doing all of that. That looks so good. I can't wait for tomorrow, the very last day. And then the car has been here for 5 days, starting it up and actually feeling the car. I think we really have something to celebrate then, right? Also the part shelf, yeah, only very few screws left. This here, this still has to go in. This is still the new part, but yeah, we'll see that tomorrow. Also some new heat shields over there. Wow, so cool to see everything coming back together. Also an interesting detail, Nick told me the screws have been updated by Porsche. Weißt du warum? Ist das für ein... So we're just guessing why, but yeah, interesting, completely new. The design of the head and the material as well?
It's the same.
Same material, aluminum stretching screw. Yeah. Interesting to see these little details. So, final morning, and of course there's always a one screw, one bolt, because holding this part, Nick's colleague is hammering and drilling it out. Yeah, broken bolt is always a mechanic's worst nightmare. But they are on it. Crankshaft is already in, getting now a new heat shield. As you can see, we're also changing these parts. They are quite cheap. All heat shields together were like 200 euros. So Nick definitely recommended doing that. And so we did. And also, I think his uncle also drives the Panamera, so he's a perfect mechanic for the job. Rear brakes are also in and also painted like the front brakes, preventing rust, looking better. Everything is coming together nicely, apart from that one bolt. There's always something, right? See, there it is over there. That is a bit of a pain. Thankfully the drill gets through here. Otherwise that would have been a big problem. New oil pan is also installed, so no more leaks. And check out what we're having here. The bearings. These are the bearings of the differential. And these things just get over time are getting bad. It's very tough to see something, right? Very, very tough to see something. Oh wow, there you really see it. Wow, check out these. Wow, no wonder. But yeah, that's pretty much all you have to change. The ball bearings on the differential, same problem as in the Cayenne. Very, very common. And when you've done that, then it's good to go for another 15 years, 20 years, maybe even longer, I think, right? Next up, of course, something else which is important, but just as a service, brake fluid. Because I think that hasn't been done in a long time. If you've seen the video with Misha, he already said it that I have to change the brake fluid, because there at the Nürburgring lap, even after half a lap, it really got like a soft pedal, and in the end it was like boiling, as he said. So this should change it up a bit. Brakes are still fresh, coming from last year, only having done like 15,000 kilometers so far. So yeah, still a lot of life in these as well. All right, now since like only little stuff is coming back into the car, which is really not that important to film, I guess, let's take the chance to have a look around this amazing Porsche Classic Center and the whole Porsche Center Gelderland as well. Of course, one of the most iconic spots you will know is their gas station, and this is not a prop, this actually works. They have a little card reader there, so they can activate it and then it actually pumps fuel. Lovely G model turbo behind it, and also a 997 GT2 with a German plate on it, the turbo being Belgium. And so yeah, this Porsche Center services a lot of foreign cars as well. Another German plated 991. This is already also in the Porsche Classic Center. They call it a young timer, like my Panamera as well. Lovely 996 Belgium plate over there. This 928 is just amazing. In this burgundy color, also the interior, two-tone burgundy and white. Super cool 80s styles, and it is a manual. Very tough to see with the camera. 996 turbo cabriolet with the seat backs painted. Also the sport seats, very desirable, wood inside, crazy spec. 964 turbo and a 924, no, it's a 944 Carrera GT. If you know anything about transaxle cars, these are super special. Of course, this is as well a bad boy's car, but this should be the 3.3, having just a turbo designation, not a 3.6. 968 Cabriolet, 911R, here out of the collection from Mark Wech and the Porsche Classic Center. 996 4S Cabriolet and another 968. Here another customer car, 997.2 GT3 RS on some very cool looking aftermarket wheels. Should be a lot lighter than the standard ones. Miami Blue 911 Turbo. A lot of modern stuff as well. Here in the Netherlands, electric is a lot more popular than in Germany. Of course, they have shorter distances here. Panamera, and this is what I think you guys want to see, right? 356, very early version. I don't know if it's a Gemünd Coupe or a bit later, but doesn't have the split windscreen and it already has a side mirror, so this should be already a Stuttgart car. Speedster there in the background behind the Cayenne. Another 356 Cabriolet, an early version. 991.1 GT3, 991.1 GT3 RS. I think that's Nardo Grey. That's a PTS color, I think, from Audi. And here we have a very, very special exclusive manufacture Targa 4S. This was a special edition, so this is not a one-off-on. They made a couple of hundred, I think. 2017, so no OPF filter. There was a later version in gray from 2019, unfortunately with an OPF. Having the full spec interior with blue and gray and black and blue piping there. Such a wonderful car. With white gold wheels, white gold striping. This is just a perfect 911 Targa, I feel. But yeah, let's head inside, because there's even way more special stuff we have to check out. And if you haven't been here already, you need to visit them at the Collector's Day, which I usually held in end of March till mid of April. The date will be announced, of course, by the Porsche Center, hopefully soon, when they finalize it, because then they will do the following. They will move out all the cars here, even from the workshop itself. Then there will be a lot of like private people or like model car dealers getting like tables, and then it's like a big flea market for Porsche stuff, books, model cars, brochures, parts, even everything. And as you can see, they are also very much here into old toy cars. Mark Wech being one of the biggest collectors for Porsche stuff overall. Also these kids cars over here, 550 Spider, 356. But let's check out the real cars. 997 Speedster, one of many. And it's actually for sale, you can buy it. So if you search one, you will find it here. 997 GT3, Metzger engine car, standard seats, comfort seats, not the bucket seats. Pricing is actually quite good on this one, I feel. 130,000 for a Metzger engine GT3. I think that's great. If it would be an RS, it would be like a 2 in front. 996 GT3 in the back, 996 Turbo. Carrera CS. This is a somewhat special G model. There you see a 345 build, 264 in the EU, and it's a bit lighter than a normal G version, but it's not an RS per se. But yeah, look at the price, that's crazy desirable. Here, one of the most special car in the collection, 550 Spider. The story is well known if you're like deep into the Porsche stuff, but if you Google Porsche Gelderland 550 Spider, this has been found in the US, sitting in a container, has been restored, but not over-restored, so it has a lot of the original patina left. The car gets used regularly at classic events, like here at the 1000 Millimilia race, getting driven by Mark Wech. Another 996 Turbo from 2001. And there you already see something very funny. But yeah, we are getting to this part in time. 356 Speedster. We are getting to this part in time where a Panamera is actually in a Porsche Classic Center. This being, of course, very controversial. Unfortunately, the sign is missing. This one has only done 30,000 kilometers, being in an excellent shape. Being a turbo version, it has 500 horsepower. But with every Panamera, the most cool thing is the interior. Look at that. This is like brand new. Also very rare open wood. Usually these were like the high gloss woods, or they had like mine, just a black piano thing, or you had some aluminium there. This is a very rare option. But also the good steering wheel with the pedals, not the push buttons to shift the gears. Exclusive manufacturer gear selector. Such a cool spec and looking brand new. The only thing I don't like about this car, the owner opted for gloss black door surroundings. This would look so much better if it had the silver surroundings like mine. Also, you see it here at the back. This somewhat clashes. You have this in black and this in silver. But that's an easy thing to change. But yeah, collectible Panamera Turbo, right? Talking of odd cars, right? You know what this is? This is the VW XL1, a 1 liter car, which doesn't mean it has a 1 liter engine. It only uses 1 liter of diesel per 100 kilometers. Doing it via, I think, a little 3-cylinder diesel in conjunction with a hybrid system. So you can also drive it fully electrically and charge it as well. Fully enclosed rear wheels for better aerodynamics. And it's so small. Check out how big I am. Now I'm fully kneeling down. It's such a small car. When driving it, there are a couple of videos online that people sit in it like in a supercar. And this also being a Piech car, like the Bugatti Veyron, just the most extreme economical car, not the fastest car. He thought really of everything. Very early 911, being an S version, of course, very desirable. Another 356 and two 964 Speedsters, both with body color wheels, which looks just cool. And then yeah, again, a lot more model and toy cars, some being very, very old, from brands I never heard of. Autosculpt miniatures from Sheffield in England, an old Revell building set, also some with the original boxes. You know me, I started with model cars, so this is of course maybe even more interesting than the real cars, right? Check out these packs there in the rear, little plastic cars. Japanese stuff. Also wicking, if you're in like model train stuff. Like for example, if you visit the Hans-Peter Porsche Traumberg, there you see a lot of wicking cars. Special edition from the IAA Auto Expo in 2001. And like here with the more regular stuff from Mini Chance and other brands, 143 scale die-cast versions. And this here as well, a play table, right? So you put in your coin here, and then you have to push the button to use the flipper, and then you can have lots of fun. That is a place, right? That really is a place. And now let's head over to the modern Porsche Center. Of course, you can imagine how big the area is right there to the very rear at the fence, to the next building over there. But he also owns a couple of other buildings here in this industrial area. So there's a lot going on outside of these Porsche centers as well. So this is usually the view you will have when you drive in here. You will have the modern Porsche Center over here, Porsche Center Gelderland, and then you have the Classic Center there in the rear, the Porsche Classic Center Gelderland. And now let's see what kind of cool modern stuff they have. Starting off with a GT4 RS. I think it is Brewster green. Of course, a lot of modern 911s. So many cars, right? Porsche has done so many different models during the time. Cayenne with a roof box. Then the Spider S in yellow Weissach package. What's the pricing on this here in the Netherlands? 300,000 euro list price. Crazy. So that's like 70 to 80,000 euros more than in Germany. And we are very spoiled in Germany indeed. And there are even more. Like in Germany, GT4 RS and especially Spider RS are plenty available. Maybe Porsche did a bit too many of these, but they are extremely fun to drive. This one even being 338,000. Yeah, being paint to sample car in some sort of gray. I'm not sure which one it actually is. Could be China gray. The black version as well. And I think another paint to sample car, or is it this new? No, this is this new silver tone, which looks amazing. If you opt for a car, go for vanadium silver, I think it's called. It looks so paint to sample. There are so many different colors inside when the sun is coming on. Looks blue, looks silver, a bit of green I think also inside. Turbo S, and wow, even a speedster. That looks great. In carmine red, not Guards red. What's the pricing on this one? 350. So that's crazy, right? You can have a 991 Speedster, of course pre-owned. How much mileage does it have? 6,000 kilometer mileage for pretty much the same price as a fully spec'd Spider RS. So guys, this begs the question, right? Speedster manual with an easier roof, or the hardcore PDK Spider S with just like an emergency roof? That's a tough one to call. I would be, of course, Team Speedster because I like having a manual gearbox. Yeah, brand new GT3 Touring as well. Is it a manual? It is a manual box. Nice. And here, the Porsche approved stuff. Crazy, so cool. Usually in Porsche centers, they just sit outside in the elements. Of course, a few Taycans. Very cool. I forgot the name of the color, this blue one. Turbo S Cross Turismo. What's the pricing on this? 100,000 euros with tax, so 21% that you have to keep in mind. Not 19% VAT like in Germany. Cool Panamera there, and Oak Green Neo. Cayennes, and of course the 911s, guys, right? So this is what you guys want to see. GT3s, Targa. No way. Do they really have a second one here? That is crazy. Of course, GT3 RS and Chalk, Targa Heritage and Cherry Metallic, but they have a second Targa 4S in Etna Blue, it's called. Special edition. 200,000 euros on this one for 23,000 kilometers. I think that is actually a good price. These were a lot more expensive a couple of years ago, even a couple of months ago. Now the market changed a lot, but this is such a cool car. Being a 2017 one, no OPF filter, it sounds amazing, has already turbo punch and all the exclusive options you want. Now we can even look more into the interior. Check out this blue leather with lighter blue piping. Even the Targa lettering is blue here on the side. And of course, everything is leather, even right up to the dash, steering column. That was such a rare thing with these cars back in 2017. See, even the dorsal is illuminated in blue. There you also see the name, Exclusive Design Edition. This is also leathered here. What you can't even see, right, when you use the car. Special door mats, so many cool stuff. That is such a classic car. Of course, also the air vents are leathered here. Check this out. This is incredibly cool. Nowadays, this is a bit more common on 911s. So you even see that on like normal 911s, like GTSs, Turbo S's. And of course, many Targas are also very fully loaded, because getting a 992 Targa like in 2021, 2020, that was really a bit of a hassle. Still a rare car there. The brand itself was very overhyped. But on a 991, if you want the classic interior, but with a modern feeling. The 991 is like the best thing to have. There, getting a full spec one is super tough. Pretty much nobody opted that back then. A bit more popular than on the 997, but still super rare compared to like nowadays with the 992s. So yeah, it's huge, right? That is such a huge Porsche center here. And let's head back to the Panamera. Yeah, let's see how far they are. And then we start it up. And it's a bit funny, right? You move around here. The cars are already changing. So there was another GT4 S parked, but here in the corner, hidden away, a 993 Turbo in yellow. Speed yellow 993 Turbo with the turbo twist wheels. Also rear wiper, which is really funny, but fits the Dutch theme. And there you also have the advantage with the yellow plates in the Netherlands. This car is just like the holy grail of a Porsche 911 993 Turbo. Was one of my very first Porsche experiences, which was crazy. 993 Turbo, also in yellow, in a US spec car, but registered in Germany. With the X50 package it's called, VLS2, which means the Power Pack 2. Yeah, 450 horsepower. This one only having 408. It's crazy in the 90s. 944 shooting brake, made by DP Customs. That is a cool spot. So now the modern cars in the workshop are more plentiful. Cayenne Turbo 997 GTS and my Panamera. Look how few parts are still needed to be assembled. So we have one of few aluminium parts, then we have the exhaust, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. A bit more underlining, catalytic converters. So yeah, let's see how fast they are. I think we are very well in timing indeed. It's so cool to see it back in place. The manual gearbox. Hello, my good friend. My most fun friend in the world, right? Just so cool, shifting a big V8 with a 6-speed manual box, and then everything from Porsche even better. And check it out, he's coming along, already drilling the new hole that the screw fits.
M8. M8. Ja, probieren.
Broken. Hole cut again, new bolt. Another part is getting in. 15 years. You could say it held up great, but this is such a little part and will also make a big difference, damping the engine's vibrations. So, and even though the car is in overall great shape, we will have two things which we'll leave because it's so minor, it's like not worth it to do the big job. First of all, this thing here, which is just like a rubber buffer for this plastic part, and the damper here. And for changing this one, the whole damper needs to come out, so I will maybe just like, because you can pull the part out, maybe change it myself, which is like the crooked way to do it. But yeah, it's not too bad, so it's not worth it, because also the inside has to be disassembled because the damper is mounted, of course, from the inside. Makes no sense. And then this is now the even like bigger defect. One of the bolts we saw at the very beginning of the video, right? The very beginning of the job, this bolt came loose. It sits over here, down there. And the problem is that the bolt is broken. So yeah, we actually need to drop the engine for this part. And then, because of course all bolts are old, we need to change all bolts from this side and also this side. And it's very easy for me to like monitor the situation. If some oil is leaking out there, then I know I have to do something. But so far it's completely dry, so I suspect it will hold for a long time until another bolt breaks, and then we'll see what we will do. Maybe an even like engine upgrade or engine tune, I don't know. But yeah, so far it's a minor thing. Hopefully it stays like this, not like after a year or so then the oil is gashing out there. But yeah, we will see how it goes. But these are the only two things which we are not doing on the car because it's not worth the cost. Dropping the engine for one bolt, no. And then of course disassembling the interior and the trunk for this rubber part I'm sure you can order it individually and do it yourself, even though it's not as professional, but still. That is like also like a couple of hours of work, 3-4 hours, I guess. Engine is an overall day. So yeah, you're speaking in thousands of euros, but that's, for this thing, it's not worth it. So, final oil change, the transmission oil.
Eerst één kant,
Ja?
dan de andere kant. Dan vast.
Was dat dan hier ook in één keer?
Ja, daar moet je nou langs maken. Hij moet nog iets verder hier naartoe, denk ik. Het probleem is, de lijn die laat alleen los op het plastic.
Ja.
En niet op de ruit.
Ja, en je hebt...
Yo guys, I am so hyped. Nearly done. Just a few things missing over there. The big piece, of course, from the front. And they actually also cleaned this, right? This is so nice of them. I suspect Nick will get a lot of messages now. Please service also my Panamera, because that was just amazing. I just wanted to get myself another coffee during the break. Here's another Carrera GT, 944 or 924. I always get confused what it is. But here's also a proper Carrera GT, another one, the third one I've seen now. This year in silver with black interior. Looking absolutely perfect. That's also a cool shot. Silver 944, silver 996 and the Carrera GT. The size of this workspace is just absolutely massive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lifts on this side. Then the lifts on the other side, plus a lift in the other room where the Panamera is. They have just so much capacity. Of course, we have another air filter, guys. Interior air filter. I completely forgot about this friend here. I thought we were done, but no. They do not forget anything. There the new one comes in. Okay guys, even just before the end, Nick still amazes me. Because he says these are the height sensors, these little things here. And he had to lubricate these, because if they rust, they will break easily. It's crazy on the little things he thinks about. He really knows this car's in and out. And now the moment of truth. She lives! She is back in action. Oh yeah. That is a happy, happy sound. Do we get a proud face from Nick? Yeah, he looks proud. Yeah. He looks proud. So, and one special treat, we will have now 2 Porsche center plates. Porsche Mannheim in the front and Porsche Centrum Gelderland in the rear. I think that's a cool thing to do. So for everyone to understand the plate, this means Handschalter, so hand shift. 970 is of course the code from the car. Okay guys, we had this problem with the vibrations at exactly 2000 revs. So, let's see how it is. Oh yes. That is a lot smoother, a lot smoother. Of course, it's not perfect. It's a V8, it will always have some vibrations. The engine mounts are of course still original. But yes, that was really worth it. Like it a lot. This is the top console for the sunroof and lights, which holds here the mirror in place. And Nick noticed that a few clips were bent by previous usage, so is that a Porsche Centrum or something else. And yeah, it always made a bit of a creaking noise, and now he's trying to change the clips so it holds great in place.
En die moet er ook in 1 keer op.
Last part, and then the Panamera is back together. There we have it. That's it. First time the clutch was used. That was the very, very first time.
Steht wieder draußen.
There she is, back again outside. So the only noise we can hear is the squeaky clutch pedal, which I decided to leave in. That is so much smoother. Oh, I can't wait to have a go. So guys, moment of truth. I never driven a car with plastics on the wheel. Okay, the clutch already feels different, interesting. A lot different. Let's go into sport. Wow, that's a lot sharper. Oh yes, the vibrations are away. The engine actually runs better. Yep, that is a lot better. That is so cool. The car feels different. It's so much smoother. That is better. Wow.